YouTube, you got some explaining to do. But first, let's take a look at the fan art section. We have this piece here from a Nubian. And, you know, this is probably one of the first times I've ever seen a Nubian make an art that was not stick my face on something cursed and call it cursed. This one's actually legitimately art. And it looks nice. Caesarus was pushed into the well. Now all of us will know his wrath. One phone call, 7 days to spread his message or face his wrath. I use Ibis for the background and traced a screenshot I took off the Slime Girl model. I mean, the method of how you did it is irrelevant. The fact that you did it is fucking cool. And I think this is really fucking cool. As always, thank you for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. That said, YouTube, you want to explain this real quick? Tal says, if you could fall into a Ranma cursed spring, which one would you fall in? Yeah, fuck it. It'd be fun to fall in the girl one. We'll just do the Ranma 1/2 thing. The real question is, if you fall into the Ranma 1/2 spring, do you come out identical to the person who you were in? Is it just like random chance that the girl form of Ranma looks like feminized boy Ranma? Or do you actually become a feminized version of yourself? Like, which one is it? If I dropped 5 men into the Ranma 1/2 girl lake, would they all come out looking like girl Ranma? That's a question for the creators. Rumika Takahashi, do your thing. Anyway, so YouTube, that lake, it is feminized yourself. Okay, did we ever get confirmation on that? Either way, YouTube caught deleting evidence of Israeli war crimes in Gaza. YouTube has deleted hundreds of videos which evidence Israeli war crimes against Palestinians since October 2025. Now, technically, one could make the argument that YouTube is supposed to delete these things specifically because it violates their TOS, but at the same time, they make exceptions for, you know, the news. And I would say that the ongoing genocide in Gaza is the news. So let's see here. The NGOs affected warn that it is part of an assault on truth. They also highlighted how Donald Trump has taken an increasingly aggressive stance against accountability for Israel. 3 Palestinian human rights groups had their accounts terminated in October. Between them, Al-Haq, Al-Mezan Center for Human Rights, and the Palestinian Center for Human Rights, they had posted 700 videos. So it's not even that just the videos were being terminated, it's that everything, the whole accounts were being terminated. The videos included investigations into killings and torture by Israel and a documentary about children murdered in an airstrike on a Gaza beach. A YouTube spokesperson gave an obtuse response, claiming that Google is committed to compliance with applicable sanctions and trade compliance laws. What a fucking coward. Anyway, imagine if somebody did something to YouTube's facility as a result of this. That would be wild and wacky. I'm not saying anybody should. Absolutely not. Stochastic terrorism is a bad thing, and we should not be encouraging it. I'm just saying, if you've got people who are really, really invested into the human rights aspect of this and feel like their friends and families in Palestine are going to get killed and their stories are going to get completely removed away from places where they could have told those stories or where we could learn from those stories, if you feel like that history is being deleted, what would a person in that hypothetical situation want to do to YouTube's headquarters? I want you to think on that for a minute. Because that person would likely engage in some scary fucking behavior. The Palestinian groups and others say the tech firm is destroying the truth. The Trump regime sanctioned the groups in September due to their work with the International Criminal Court. The ICC is investigating Israel for genocide. Gazan group Al-Mezan had their account deleted on the 7th of October. A spokesperson said that terminating the channel deprives us from reaching what we aspire to convey our message to and fulfill our mission and prevents us from achieving our goals and limits the ability to reach the audience we aspire to share our message with. Al-Haq are based in the West Bank And a spokesperson from them said the U.S. sanctions are being used to cripple accountability work on Palestine and silence Palestinian voices and victims. And this has a ripple effect on such platforms also acting under such measures to further silence Palestinian voices. The Palestinian Center for Human Rights, again, remember, every single one of these people, every single one of these groups were all banned off YouTube, said YouTube said that we were not following their policy on community guidelines when all our work was basically presenting factual and evidence-based reporting on the crimes committed against the Palestinian people, especially since the start of the ongoing genocide on the 7th of October. By doing this, YouTube is complicit in silencing the voices of Palestinian victims. Now, Trump has made it his business to attack the ICC on behalf of Israel, but it didn't start with him. In 2022, George W. Bush actually created a law which the U.S. could by which the U.S. could use military force to rescue war criminals in ICC custody. That feels like the kind of thing you do because you know that you're not supposed to be invading a fucking nation, like we did with Afghanistan. Because, like, we really should not have been in fucking Afghanistan at all. Oy, oy, oy. Isn't America great? Isn't America a fantastic country? Don't you all love this one? Don't you all love this country? Isn't it fantastic? Look at all the great things we do on the international level. As The Intercept reported in 2024, while no president has yet made good on this military threat, it serves as a shorthand for the U.S. relationship to the International Institution of Justice. That law was made in the context of the war on terror, but U.S. leaders always had one eye on their apartheid colony, Israel. The law was meant to fend off the specter of American troops standing trial for atrocities committed during the fledgling war on terror, but the U.S. horror of the Hague had its roots in the long-standing policy of unconditional support for Israel. Remember, Israel has been doing just heinous shit to the Palestinians for decades. Decades and decades and decades. Because remember, you got a really nice, great slice of land for Israel, and then a pretty shitty slice of land under Israel's authority when the disillusionment of the Ottoman Empire happened. And now we're here. Robbie with the heavy metal drum track, Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney. Jesus Christ. And then there's a bit in here about how digital evidence is actually very fragile. The Accountability Archive describes itself as a crowdsourced record of journalists, politicians, and public figures endorsing or encouraging the ethnic cleansing of Gaza and or defaming pro-Palestinian activists. Alex Foley, a co-founder, told the Canary digital evidence was very fragile. The internet is not durable for strong evidence. In reality, digital evidence is incredibly fragile, more so than real evidence. We don't have bundles of letters laying around, like when you finish a job and your email date gets wiped. In the space of war crimes evidence, the ICC and the being videos erased, what we see is that terms of use and service for big social media companies, we think they're there to promote connection. In reality, these firms aren't pro-freedom. If something falls afoul of their TOS, it gets black boxed, unless law enforcement requires it. Which means what we should be doing right now. YouTube's based in California, right? So what we should be doing is getting our politicians to actually start pushing YouTube to do something about this. Basically to rescind what they have been engaging in with the deleting of this evidence. This is not something that they should be doing. Yes, technically, YouTube should be allowed to do whatever they want on their little itty-bitty platform, but when it comes to the place being both a privately owned company or publicly traded company and also being a repository for data and archives, maybe it would be a good idea if there were some stricter rules about what could and could not be deleted from the platform. And the way you get those enforced is by strong-arming YouTube. And the only real way to strong-arm YouTube that I can think of is by getting representatives who are willing to fight against Google's lobby to push against them. Foley gave the example of evidence in Libyan war crimes from 2017, which had been posted online. The Libyan evidence got scrubbed because it was considered too violent. It took an extremely lengthy legal process to recover it, and it was very contentious. Yeah, and now we get to do it all over again. On Trump's assault on the ICC, Foley added, "This move highlights the why around the ICC sanctions. This is the intended effect. This is what was meant to happen, a broader chilling effect. It says, you might be next to organizations. This is intended." The Intercept reported that some of the videos are still available where they've been reproduced. Trump and the Israeli war criminals can run from justice and hide from accountability, but the dawn is coming. So that's a very chilling way to end that. But the TLDR is, do the videos still exist on YouTube? Can they still be found? For some of them, yes. But when you attack the larger institutions that have the followings to get that information out there, that is targeted. That is aimed and directed for purpose. There can be 50 accounts with 100 subscribers each, showing those videos around, getting no views. Or there can be one account with 5,000 subscribers and therefore more algorithm pull. That's 50 times the 100 subscribers each of those smaller accounts would have. And that account would have a better chance of getting people to see that video evidence. Because it turns out YouTube actually deprioritizes redundancy. If you repost a video, the algorithm deprioritizes that. So simply having access to it, it's not enough. Because you also want people to be able to see it. And the way to get people to be able to see it is if the algorithm catches it and lets it go viral. Something that, again, is more likely to happen on pre-established and larger channels or news outlets represented by channels. Also, Jassa, thank you for redeeming your points for a hydrate. Almost washes the taste of that other fucking word out of my mouth. Anyway, point is, YouTube, this is gross. Maybe don't. Maybe go on to 5 calls and get your representatives to push against YouTube, because YouTube support is not going to be doing jack shit with this. But you can strong arm them using your representatives, and that would be a good thing to do. Make them do their jobs or something. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.